And we're live. All right, here we go. Nobody's joined yet, but
We just
yeah, we just started
set
here.
realistic expectations.
All right, yeah, let's realistic expectations is great. All right, so we are here at Crawford Brew Works in Bettendorf, Iowa, celebrating Oktoberfest. I'm joined today for the special edition of Foodie Fridays on a Sunday afternoon, primarily because of Oktoberfest, with Brendan from altSTATES and Scott, the head brewmaster here at Crawford. So what we're going to do today is talk a little bit about some of the cool brewery tours that we have in the Quad Cities with Brendan, while sampling some of these great beers from Scott and Crawford Brew Works today. So
I have to say too, this is really good timing.
Yes.
Because right after this, I'm supposed to talk with someone about doing like officiating for a wedding. So I'm gonna have a little beer and figure out how. And like,
Hey,
I now pronounce it.
you as the officiant can have beer. I think it's the couple that can't have it before the wedding, otherwise it's annulled. So that's okay for you to do. Noted. So let's.
Or it's like getting a tattoo. You have to be sober when you sign the license, but you don't necessarily have to be sober when you go
true too.
Are you speaking from experience?
Oh man,
That's for another time.
Yeah. I mean, well, it depends on how long we go today, I guess. So Scott, why don't you let us know what beer you want us to try first, and then we'll get going.
Well, let's start left to right.
Okay.
The first one we've got is our Oktoberfest.
Okay.
Since this is Oktoberfest, that's why we're here.
Awesome.
We'll set there.
We're not supposed to go open one.
No, these aren't shooters.
But Oktoberfest beers are kind of broken into two camps. There's the Martzens, which are typically a little darker, a little heavier. Got
this is
notes.
a little light.
This is actually a fest beer.
Okay.
This is actually what you would get if you went to Oktoberfest in Munich.
Okay.
It's a little bit drier, a little crisper.
Yeah.
It's meant to be drank in liters.
I was just gonna say, I feel like if you're gonna be doing like a big stein.
They drink it liters at a time.
Okay.
And, a heavier beer just lays heavier on your palate. A little dry on the finishes to make you a little thirstier, make you keep wanting more and more as you go.
That's a nice side effect.
Yeah, no kidding. I do can tell when you say it's crisp, what that means or what you're referring to.
Yeah, just a little dryness on the finish.
And speaking of Oktoberfest, if you like, share, and comment on this video, you're going to have a chance to win this cool Crawford Brew Works Oktoberfest shirt and one Crowler refill from them. And then Brendan, do you want to let them know what they can win from you if they like, comment, and share the video?
Yeah, so if you like, comment, and share, you can be entered for a chance to win a spot on a brewery tour, $54 value. Come along with me and explore some of the great breweries in the Quad Cities, including Crawford Brew Works.
Awesome. So what is the Brew Works or the brewery tours? Tell us a little bit about
I've
had half a sample and I can't talk. So tell us a little bit about how you got started doing brewery tours here in the Quad Cities.
So it's kind of by chance, honestly. I won't give you the full crazy story,
Okay.
but pretty much I impulsively started a tour company. I was living in Wisconsin, moved back to the Quad Cities. I'm from Davenport.
Yeah.
And I was just sort of looking for cool stuff to feature in the Quad Cities, and someone suggested hey, we have a lot of breweries, you should try to do something with that. And I'd been on brewery tours in other cities, and no one was doing it here, so I was like, well, what the heck, I should try doing that here. So just kind of try it out, and it's really been an awesome process. You get to know people from the different breweries in the Quad Cities and help connect people with places that they maybe haven't been before. So for example, I was just here less than 24 hours ago, and none of them had ever been here before. So most people that go on these tours, know about these breweries that come out, but they don't really have an excuse to go out and try them out, especially 4 in one afternoon. So I help connect them with that, and provide the sober driving around,
which is very important. Drink responsibly, everybody.
Yes.
So you said 4 in an afternoon. Is it typically 4, or is it 3 sometimes, or
it's
2,
typically 4, yeah. So we change the tour, so now it's 4 pretty much every time. So we kind of try to rotate. And the cool thing is too, in most spots you get kind of like a behind the scenes type of thing.
Okay.
So a little tour places maybe don't offer a tour, or get to chat with the brewer, or just cool stuff like that.
Yeah.
These places, so you get an experience you wouldn't just get walking off the street.
Awesome. So when Brendan brings some of these people here to the brewery tour, I'm sure you answer a lot of questions about the brewery and how you got into brewing. So you want to tell us a little bit about how you got into brewing and when you started?
It was actually in 2000. My wife Karen and I started home brewing.
Okay.
Just a little pot on the kitchen stove, and we kind of fell in love with it from the get-go and just took off running full speed. We both became certified beer judges, started traveling around the Midwest judging different competitions, getting to know more and more people, learning more and more about beer. just kind of kept expanding on that. My previous life, I was a UPS driver for 32 years, and had enough time to retire from there, and I went to work as a distiller down in McClay.
Oh, okay.
I was down there for 6.5 years working with Ryan and Garrett down there, and like 15 years ago, one of the owners of this place and I, who's a good friend of mine, also the owner of Healthy Habits next door, he and I would talk about how great it would be to have a coffee shop, brewery, and bike shop all in one building, so you never have to leave all day. Well, he calls me, he goes, yeah, remember that brewery bike shop thing we were talking about? He goes, yeah, it's happening. Do you want in? Well,
really
I go,
awesome.
I'll have the conversation. And it was pretty quick into the conversation.
Yeah. You knew it was going to be awesome. That's great. Yeah, I always think it's interesting to hear how so many people, like, because, you know, if you go back like 20 years, like, probably there wasn't that many breweries.
No.
So it's like, where did all these guys come from? You know, but
I mean,
so
now
cool
there's college programs. You go, get a college degree in brewing science.
Yeah.
And back then, there was no such thing. You know,
right? That's so crazy.
If you're lucky enough to find a job at a brewery and just kind of work yourself up into it.
You really are like the mad scientist. I mean, there's a lot of chemistry involved with that.
It's actually more than mad janitor. You spend most of your time cleaning. It seems like. It's not near as glamorous. Not near as glamorous.
Yeah, that's probably why you never really do brewing while people are in here. All right, so let's move on to the second beer here.
The next beer is our kind of Kolschisch.
Okay.
Kolsch is a German-style beer, and if you're going to be really strict, you can't call it Kolsch unless it's brewed within the confines of Cologne, Germany. So, and I also, like I said, so it's kind of Kolschisch, and I also changed the hop profile a little bit.
Okay.
But this is actually the first beer I started working on, and most breweries you go to, their light beer will either be a cream ale or a blonde, which I don't fault anyone for doing. Those are great beers. I just wanted something a little bit different here. So I thought we'd try the Kolsch and see how, it went over. And, and most days it sells twice what the next best-selling beer does. So it's by far our most popular.
Oh, wow.
And it's probably the closest to the domestics that most, the big ones that people are used to. So it's kind of a good gateway beer.
Gotcha.
You come in, well, I usually drink this. We'll start out with the Kolsch, and most people are pretty happy with it.
No, I it's the beer that I would probably start my father-in-law off with, coming in. He's a domestic guy. Although I will say they're not so domestic because it's South African Brewing Company owns Miller, right? And then Anheuser InBev is a Belgian company, and then Molson Coors is a Canadian company. So all your domestics are not domestics, people. Drink local. Drink local.
Go local.
Oh man, try explaining that to the bartender when they're doing like 2 for $5 domestics.
They're like, buddy, how much have you had to drink?
But oh man, so
and we're also as local as you can be because our equipment is made in Rock Island.
So
you can't get any more local than that.
No, that is true. You guys are like the new showroom for Crawford Brew Works. So Brendan, let's get a little bit. It's October. What kind of other tours do you have besides beer tours?
I'm glad you asked.
Because it's getting to that spooky season.
Yeah, so people kind of know what I'm doing for the brewery tours, which is awesome. But it's been my goal from the beginning to do a lot of other types of stuff as well. So one of the things that I just announced and is coming up in a few weeks is we're going to QC Boo Bus. So basically, I'm pairing up with a paranormal group, the Illinois Paranormal Research Group, which is in the Quad Cities. And they've investigated all these like famous sites in the Quad Cities, including like Ambrose Hall, Palmer, and a bunch of other spots. So we're just going to drive around and kind of hear the like true ghost stories of these spots from people who've like literally been there investigating these places. So I'm like, I told them, I'm like, I'm not a huge scary thing, like scary stuff. So I'm like, don't make this too spooky. Like, I don't want to actually see ghosts.
Laughing is my coping mechanism. Like, when I do haunted houses or like haunted hayride rides, I'm laughing the whole time because it's like the way I cope with it. But like, it's sort of funny, and I don't know what the statute of limitations on this is. So Ambrose Hall. I lived across. I went to Ambrose for 4 years. All about it. Shout out to all the bees. So we were sitting on the porch. We just got back from the bars, and we were looking across the Locust Street at Ambrose Hall, and my roommate smokes cigarettes, so that's why we were out there, but I don't smoke. I'm asthmatic. But we swore on our lives that we saw something run across 4th floor at Ambrose Hall. And I was like, do you see that?
I feel like most people.
He was like, yeah, I did. So we went over there to see if the door was unlocked, and it was.
Nice.
So obviously we go up, and we were like,
I'm sure no beer had been consumed.
We were creeping around the fourth floor in the middle of the night trying to find this ghost. And then,
Why would you do that?
I don't know, but we both swear we saw something running across like through the halls on a fourth floor Ambrose Hall.
And I feel like most people from Ambrose, like I did an intern for the summer from Ambrose, and she was like, "Yeah, there's definitely good things going on there."
But it was like really scary from like across the street. But like after we got up there and like didn't find anything for like 20 minutes, we're like walking around all the corners like hunched over. We're like, what the hell? Do we think we're Scooby-Doo or something? Like, what are we doing up here? So we just walked out, and then we felt real stupid because we didn't see any ghosts up there. But like we still know or feel like we saw something run across up there. So I don't know. I might need to jump on the boo bus and see if we can.
No guarantee that you're going to see ghosts.
Maybe you could charge extra if you do see one.
Yeah.
Put that in the price. Yeah. If you see a ghost, then it's an extra charge.
or like, I'm not going to do this, but like at some, like whale watching, they're like, if you don't see a whale, we give you your money back or something. Like, I'm not going to do that though. You're not, no guarantees you're going to see a ghost, but you will learn a lot about the history and the stories behind the paranormal at these places.
I think I see an opportunity here. We should do the brewery tour before the boo bus. So then it's going to be a lot easier to convince everybody that they saw something or heard something. You know? So, oh man, that's funny. That's great. All right. Let's get on to this third one here, Scott. So what do we got?
The third one is my IPA. And IPA is kind of more of a bitter beer. And I've been told by a lot of people that I'm kind of a crabby, bitter old brewer. So when we came to looking for names, I came up with this as Get Off My Lawn IPA.
I like it.
Just kind of emphasize that. But I mean, this is more of I guess what I call like an old school West Coast IPA.
Okay.
It's not the hazy, juicy.
Yeah.
It's just typical citrusy, nice, clean IPA. And it's been going over really well.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing? You know, you say bitter. That like the old beer commercials used to be bitter beer face. And now it's like, you know, one of those craft beers that people really enjoy and love.
Right.
Oh man, that's pretty good. I'm not an IPA fan typically, but I could drink this one. I like.
And I
like citrus, and
I also wanted it to be an IPA. I mean, some of them are just so bitter, so over the top.
Yeah.
Your palate is just destroyed for everything else you're going to drink the rest of the day. So I wanted one that you could sit and have a couple of and walk away and have something else and be fun.
Yeah, I definitely enjoy this one. Like I said, my wife's an IPA fan, and she drinks them all the time. So therefore I try them, and I don't particularly like them all the time. But this one is nice and smooth, and I like that citrus twang to it. So how do you come up with like creating these? How many of these were ones you tried brewing in the home brew setting? All of them? Okay.
Of them, yeah. And like I said, I've been homebrewing for almost 20 years, so I've got literally hundreds of recipes.
Okay.
And what I'll typically do is, I've also got different books and magazines and stuff like okay, I want to make an Oktoberfest, and I'll sit there with like 10 different things in front of me, and like, well, I like that, I don't like that, and then just kind of morph things together. And so all of these I've done on a smaller scale.
Okay.
So, and also, I kind of equated to like cooking too. When you use different spices and different ingredients, you pretty much know what they're going to, you kind of have a good idea in your head what they're going to come out like.
Where do you where do you find inspiration or things to come up with different flavors and changing things, or how much of it is the mad scientist? I'm like, oh, I'm going to throw this in there.
Number one, you need to learn to make it clean. That's number one. And then that's kind of where I fault a lot of homebrewers, that they try to play before they have the basics down.
Yeah.
But once you learn to make a clean beer, then you can start playing around a little bit. And I find like from different foods and stuff, just different flavors you pick up, like, well, that could work in. Yeah. In a beer, or you try like commercial beers. I said, well, I like this, but I would like a little bit more of this or a little bit less than that, and then kind of play off of that as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, you have to drink a lot of beer to do that.
Well, tough job.
It's research at that point.
Yes. Awesome. Well, hey, we're going to take a break. I'm going to do a little promo here. For the giveaways, remember, like, share, and comment for a chance to win this cool Oktoberfest t-shirt. Also, a crowler of beer from Crawford. Brendan's got a pass for a brewery tour for you guys to join on. And then also, I want to let you know that we've released a new update on the BluJaket app. So if you go, next time you're at Crawford's, and you come in here, you can see there's a green thumbs up print. So also you can get buy one, get one free pints here at Crawford, but if you give them a thumbs up and subscribe to them, you can get more deals more often. So that's one of the newest features out. Yeah,
I got my BluJaket on the way over.
Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to connect you guys with businesses on a whole nother level and let them interact with you above and beyond the geo-targeted mobile offers that we do at the moment. So with this new update, you can subscribe to the businesses you'd like, as well as set your preferences. That way we're only sending you offers for places you like and none for the places you don't like. Because what we want to do is not be too intrusive and get you connected, like I said, to those places you enjoy, to go there more often and enjoy great beers like this.
I have to say I'm really enjoying being here because, of course, when I have tour groups, I can't drink. So I'm like, this is my time.
Scott is our tour guide today.
New on the Sunday.
And we are just his humble guests. This is great. So let's go on to this next one.
The next beers are French Quarter Stout.
Okay.
I'm probably my goal is to have different stouts rotating through all the time. Coffee stouts are particularly popular in this area, and I went to school in Louisiana and got really fond of the chicory stouts. Down there, the chicory coffee.
Yeah.
Down there. So I came up and I couldn't buy the chicory coffee in big enough bulk. I had to buy a little thing, so I could buy the ground chicory. So I went to Greg and Beth at the Coffee Hound next door.
Yes.
And we sat there and we're blending up until we got to what matched what I thought was the coffee down there. So we used a fresh ground coffee, cold pressed it, from the Coffee Hound, added some ground chicory to it, and then added that into it's a rice stout.
Awesome. Do you guys do the cold pressing, or does the Coffee Hound do that for you? You do that, okay.
Should have brought some beignets in to share.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like Cafe Du Monde right now.
Man, speaking of me and my wife, we started doing some cold brew at home, and she trusted me to do it one day, and she was like, apparently it's like 1 ounce per 1 cup, but I did like 1 cup and 1 cup, and I made like 132 servings of coffee.
Is that why you're like just hyper all the time?
No, I don't think that's. I'm just hyper all the time. It has nothing to do with the coffee.
This year was 10 pounds of coffee, and that's why I had to do it. In 3 pound batches in the thing I had to do.
Okay, so call me silly. Is there any caffeine in the coffee stout? Does that come through in the process at all, or no? You have no idea.
I have no idea.
Okay, gotcha. I don't know. I was just like, because I know the cold brew is pretty potent.
Yeah.
So Brendan, starting a tour company, you said it was spur of the moment, sort of just winged it and got into it.
Yes,
like
very much.
What makes you like tourism, and why did you think there's like you and I agree? There's a lot to do here that people just don't know about. So you obviously think that or believe that about the Quad Cities. There's a lot to do here in and around the Quad Cities. But do you have like a passion for travel? Or getting into different things, or tell us a little bit about your background and what made you think you could even run a tour company besides just spur of the moment getting into it.
Well, my background, I actually worked for a software company for 4 years, so I was like basically like an IT guy pretty much. And I was actually in Eastern Europe when I decided to start this company. I was on a group tour there. I was like, wait, I'm on this group tour in this place not that many people go. Why has no one done that in the West in Quad Cities? At the time, I was living in Wisconsin. So I was on this trip, and I called my parents from Montenegro. I was like, by the way, when I get back to the U.S., I'm moving back to Quad Cities and in with you. And
in with you.
And surprisingly, they were pretty
Who is this?
They were actually like very, they were cool with it. So that's props to my parents.
They're just like, do not call this, please.
They probably got like a call from that number, like, who's this? So yeah, it was very like not fun. I really had no experience in this room, but it's been really cool to just get in, and especially being I think the Quad Cities coming back and just getting to rediscover. I mean, this is a place that wasn't here when I was growing up. Not that I was drinking when I was 17, but I mean, a lot of the things that we appreciate and that I love about coming back and interact with on a daily basis during my time in the Quad Cities now, we're not here growing up. So it's really been amazing to come back and rediscover these things and then share that passion. So one of the things I really enjoy doing, I mean, I get a lot of people from out of town brew tours, but then I also work with some companies in the area to work with people that they're trying to convince them to move to the Quad Cities basically and give them kind of like an insider, like local perspective on like why this is a great place. Because I think especially when you compare it to like bigger cities, you know, sometimes it can be kind of traditional, hard sell. But just the cool things that we've had here, and the fact that I can do what I'm doing, and you can do what you're doing, and you can do what you're doing, it really speaks to a lot about what's going on in this area. Because if you have a good idea, you can go for it and make it happen.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I think we've joked around a lot. When people say, "Oh, there's nothing to do in the Quad Cities," it's like, "Oh, you just don't like to do anything anywhere. It wouldn't matter where you're at. Right. You would."
Yes.
Like, I don't know whether it's from bike paths to breweries to food to like camping and trails. I mean, this is one of my favorite stories. So me and my wife are going out, or not favorite, but like funniest. Oh, I don't know. We've grown up around Mississippi. We've seen it every day. I drive over it 2-3 times a day. And then we're heading out to Colorado last year, and we're stopping at a gas station in somewhere in Kansas and or Nebraska. And these people were like, I overhear them talking. They're like, "Oh my God, we're only like 6 hours from the Mississippi." I was like, "What?" Like,
no, seriously.
They're like, we're heading to the Mississippi to see it. I'm like, really? I'm like, okay. I'm like, I'm from the Mississippi. Like, I live on the Mississippi. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. And they're like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "We're going to Colorado to see the mountains." They're like, "Well, we're from Colorado. The mountains ain't a big deal." So it's just sort of interesting that like we are crossing paths on on opposite journeys to like each other's homes.
The grass is always greener.
Yeah, right. So it's like we were thrilled to see mountains. They were thrilled to see a river that they couldn't actually throw like a stone across.
Yeah.
You know.
You got a really good arm.
Yeah. Oh, actually, speaking of really good arm, did you see? This is totally off topic, but this guy hit a home run in the MLB.
Yeah.
And then the guy who caught it was for the away team. So the guy who caught it like waited and he threw it when the guy was rounding second, and he hit the guy. He hit the runner like on the bounce, and like the runner just sort of looked at him and just like saluted him because he was like, "Dude, that's a hell of an arm." Like for just some fan in the crowd. No, like. To get back on topic, I just thought that was a funny story. But yeah, I mean, I think there is a lot to do here, and you do some tours like outside the Quad Cities and surrounding area as well, right?
Yeah, I've done a lot of just like random stuff. I mean, when you run your own company, you can kind of experiment with what you want to do and what you think would be cool. So, for example, I took a group to Gary, Indiana, not a very traditional tourist destination, but took a group of folks from the Quad Cities out there. We got like this really cool tour about the history of the city and kind of like its modern decline, what they're doing to help rebuild it there. So that's something I'm really passionate about. It's just seeing the potential of areas. I think the Quad Cities have so much potential too. So I enjoy learning from other places as well. And connecting people with places they wouldn't otherwise go. And that could be going to Gary, Indiana, or it can be coming to the brewery that you pass by a bunch of times where you actually go inside.
No, I really appreciate obviously what both of you guys do. Scott, the beer is delicious. Brendan, and it's like you and I, like we've had, and Scott too, we all have this passion for the Quad Cities, being home and all of that, but it's sort of cool that you actually did something about it. You're like, put your fist down, you're like, no, like
I wasn't even living here. I've been away for like 10 years.
Why some guy in Europe calls his parents and say, "I want to make sure people tour the Quad Cities," is a pretty funny story.
But I mean, just like a year, I've had people from like Chicago, New York, San Francisco, Dubai, like other international cities.
Wow.
So I mean, really, like you'd be surprised. The Quad Cities gets over 1 million visitors a year.
Wow.
And those people come from all over the world.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is leisure tourism people too, beyond just the companies.
That's awesome. That is so amazing.
Yeah.
Because that's some stuff that I didn't even know.
Yeah.
All right, so let's. I think we were down to our fifth and final beer here on the flight.
This is actually probably one of the very first beers I ever made.
Okay.
When I first started out as a home brewer, and
don't tear up on us now.
well, actually, this one does have a lot of memories.
Yeah.
But I do a lot of cycling. It used to be a lot more than that. So this kind of a joke. This was named Pedal Your Ass Off Porter. And it's been named that for like 17 years now. And down at Brouhaha, the big festival, they used to have a homebrew row down there.
Yeah.
And as a homebrew, this was ranked People's Choice in 2003 at Brouhaha.
Awesome.
This beer. So that was like when we started this. I'm like, and then we're tied in with help we have in the bike shop. I go, we got to have Pedal Your Ass Off Porter. And
that is awesome.
I think we're out of them now, but Bruce had some jerseys made up for that beer.
That is a really cool story. And man, I do like that about the microbrew scene, is that you do get those stories, because it's like when you talk to the brew guy or the brewmaster at Anheuser-Busch, they're like, "Hey, what's the story behind this?" Like, I don't know. It's like there's
I wasn't born.
there's nothing to. It's like, oh, Clydesdale, blah 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 blah, right? But like, no, knowing that this like has some history to like you and like your passion for cycling, but also home brewing and going down to Brouhaha and doing that with.
And what's really great here is, I kind of tell people that my getting to come here is kind of like Willy Wonka finding the golden ticket.
Yeah.
I mean, I come in, it's all brand new equipment. I mean, usually you come to a brewery and they're retrofitting it into some old building, the drain, the plumbing, everything's not, you just make it work. Now I'm here, they're showing me blueprints and asking me where I want the sinks. And stuff like, I'm like, what? It just doesn't happen here.
Yeah.
They've given me no parameters on what beers to make. They said, as long as it sells, make what you want. And so it's like, I get to make all my own recipes. I get to start everything from scratch. It wasn't like coming into a brewery that already had established beers and having to take those over. I just got to come in and it's, at this point, it's all mine. So it's a lot of fun.
That's so awesome.
This just doesn't happen.
It almost sounds like a dream come true, folks.
Pretty much.
That is awesome.
It's a lot better day than bouncing around in a brown truck and gravel roads.
Yeah, I mean, talking about bouncing, I can cut my grass yesterday. Bouncing around on that riding mower, my back. I need a massage myself too. I know how you feel. Brendan, so talk about ghost tours, brew tours, outside the area tours. Like, what else? What kind of services do you provide outside of the casual guided tours?
Yeah, I mean, so pretty much if you call me up or like on my website, you can book me for whatever you want to do. Pretty much, so I do a lot of private groups. I was just here yesterday with a private group. But then really, I have a vehicle and I can legally take you pretty much anywhere in the Midwest you want to go. So I'm taking a group up to Chicago in a couple months just to go shopping for the day, stuff like that.
Awesome.
So I can do pretty much anything like that as well. For the public tours that are scheduled, you can just book them through my website. It's super easy. You can go on and pay with a credit card. So we have a brewery tour coming up next weekend in the Brew Bus. You can book that right on altstatestravel.com.
Oh, plug.
And follow the socials at altstates across all the platforms. Despite winging it, I was able to secure that handle at altstates across Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So
I got all of them but one. I have on Twitter. It's BluJaket app. Everything else is BluJaket.
No one uses Twitter.
Right? That's nobody does. Unless you want to argue. That's really good at arguing. It reminds me of that old Monty Python in the Flying Circus. Like, you can pay $5 to do have an argument. He's like, "No, this isn't an argument. Yes, it is. No, it isn't. No, it isn't." It's like, yeah, that's but now you can do that for free. Just go to Twitter. But also, we're not related, but you could be my cool cousin, right?
Oh yeah.
So what is that? And what is cool cousin? And how do you get into that, and what is it, and what do you provide?
Yeah, so basically it's this app. It was founded in the UK, and they are just trying to connect random people around the world that are passionate about their communities with people who are visiting. So I was the first one. I just applied to be on there. I'm the first person in Iowa to be on there, and I hadn't received any inquiries. But the other day, I got my first cool cousin inquiry on Facebook because I was so thrilled. But it was someone who's considered moving to Quad Cities, and they're like, "Hey, what's it to do there? Is there culture?" And I was like, typing away. There is. Yeah. So that's just kind of beyond my business, just a way for me to connect with people who are interested in potentially coming here and giving them the information they need to have a great experience.
This can also be for some of you listening if you're going other places and you want that local touch or that know-how, so it's sort of
like a free local concierge.
Yeah.
And so at some point, I assume there's going to be a paid component, but I signed up for it not expecting to make any money off of it because I'm just passionate.
But it's cool to add to your resume.
But they're in
and you're going to
100
help
cities around the world
grow this area.
Yeah, and so if you're interested, if you're a cool Quad citizen, which I think
there's a lot of us.
There's a lot of you out there. You can apply to join the community. I'd love to have people on there.
Well, and so. BluJaket. One of my experiences or aha moments was out in Philadelphia. Me and my wife were out there, and she was on a work trip, and I just went to go sightsee. And I spent I spent a lot of time walking around looking at my phone, not knowing where to go. So as far as BluJaket is concerned, I'm like, hey, it'd be nice if I'm just walking down the road and my phone buzzes, and now I know what's around me and where to go and get offers. But the other thing was, I was like, I want to know what to do here that I'm not going to find on Google, that I'm not going to find on these tour websites. So what I did was I used to bartend at a dive bar. So I was like, those are locals, like no tourists there. So I would go to, I just like randomly went to a dive bar one day and I sat there, like bring your own food. So I got a Philly cheesesteak. I'm in Philly. So I got a Philly cheesesteak from the vendor outside, sat there, and I talked to these guys who grew up in the area. They told me about like going to like, make sure if you're going to go see the river, go like to this lookout point, or if you want to go to the speakeasy. So we went to a speakeasy later that night. That was really cool. Like candle lit, no lights, no like electricity from that standpoint. Like if you took a photo and your flash went off, like everybody would be like, hey, like, you know, you're in trouble. But it was like, I like went out of my way to go to this bar to get with local people. But it's sort of cool cousin to just sort of get that from your phone as you're walking around.
Yeah.
So I think that's beneficial to anybody listening to go do that. And even if you're local and you need help, ask Brendan.
Yeah, I mean,
he's your cool cousin now.
I mean, I've been away for a long time, so coming back, you know, I do my best to find the interesting new things you can eat. But of course, I am one person. I don't know everything right there, so I'm always looking. You know, if you got suggestions, things that I should know about the Quad Cities or things that I may have overlooked, you know, to share, because I come into contact with tons of people from out of town every week. So,
well, if you ever wanted to tell the tour guide what to tour, he's very open to ideas. Scott, we are starting to wrap up here. We're towards the end of our flight here. You guys are celebrating on Oktoberfest, and some of you know, obviously the first beer we did was Oktoberfest. The Kolsch is an October style beer. What kind of things do you guys have going on here over the next week that people can come and enjoy besides the beer?
The one thing we have left this week is we have an Oktoberfest tasting Tuesday, which I think we still have about 10 spots left for. It's an RSPB event. But we features our beer. It's $15. You get a commemorative half-liter stein full of beer. We have the representatives from Bogey's Mustard coming to talk about their mustard. We have Jerry's Meat Market. Tony came over, talks about what it takes to make sausage, and he brings a couple samples of that. Showcases his stuff. And Suzanne, the Swiss baker, comes up and talks about like the history of pretzels, why they're the shape they are, how they're made, and she brings some samples. And we did one last Tuesday, and we kind of thought it was going to be a one-time thing, and limited to 40 people, and it sold out like in 3 days. And then we had like people kept calling and the three parties, the vendors we invited, our guests, were like, hey, could you come do this again next Tuesday? We're like, yeah, absolutely. We'll bring more food next time too.
That's amazing.
I think everyone was a little surprised at how well it went, but we're going to have that coming up Tuesday as well. So.
Well, and I mean, I think it's really cool. The one that stuck out to me was Bogey's, right? Is like, some people don't know that, and maybe you guys can attest to this. Like, I've traveled outside of Quad Cities before and seen Bogey's on them. Like, other people will put that on their menu, like, this sandwich has Bogey's mustard on it. It's like, we grew up with it similar to the Mississippi. It's like no big deal. It's just the Mississippi. But like outside the area, people rave about Bogey's. It's pretty cool. And it's still, I think it's still made on Crawford Brew Works.
Like he said, I haven't been to his place, but he said it's like half the size of this mezzanine. And it's been there forever. Yeah. And they learned the recipes from a sausage meister in Germany. So, he was like going through all the process on that. So it's all traditional. They, get all traditional German spices brought in for it. But it's, awesome. It's a lot of fun. It's great, all local. And Suzanne, she's a Swiss baker, but she's from the German-speaking part of Switzerland, so we did come back over. But no, she was awesome. She did a great job, and her stuff was outstanding.
Awesome. That's great. All right, so we're about to wrap this up. Just a reminder, like, share, and comment on this video for a chance to win the Crowler with this T-shirt. Also get one free pass for a brewery tour with Brendan. You and your friends can come and enjoy it, but you're the only one that gets to come at no cost. Come and try some of Scott's beer. It's really great. Remember to subscribe to Crawford next time you get their offer on BluJaket. Anything I'm missing, anything you guys want to say to sign off, this has been a pleasure. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much for the conversation, the beer.
I always like the excuse to drink a beer.
Exactly.
Sunday fun day.
Sunday fun day. Really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for coming. And everybody, come support these local businesses as well. So have a great Sunday. We'll talk to you soon. Happy Oktoberfest.
Prost.
Prost.